Hi there, this is Matt Petrowski. I am a MailMate user and enthusiast, and this is one video out of a series of videos taking a look at taking full control over your mail using MailMate. In this video, we're taking a look at using Submailboxes. This is basically filtering refined, where you get to, after you've already filtered your mail in the first place, see it in an even more refined fashion so that it really makes sense in terms of processing all of this information overload. Heading over to MailMate, we can take a look at exactly what I'm talking about. Now, Submailboxes are built into all of the mailbox folders that we have available in MailMate. We really only have the two mailboxes. The default mailboxes, which are those which we cannot delete and get rid of, those are the things that MailMate establishes. Then within that, you're going to have any of your IMAP folders, or as Gmail calls them, tags, where mail can be filtered into those folders depending on the source of where the content is stored on the IMAP server. Then we have our smart mailboxes. So for the most part in MailMate, there are the two. There is your default or your folders controlled by the source. Then there are your smart folders, which are you taking control of your environment and establishing all the filtering that you want. Now the one that we're looking at here is this one called tagged. Now when we look at tagged, which was automatically set up for us when MailMate was created, we can see that again, it's using the all messages folder, which is basically going to include all accounts. I would change this if I wanted this smart folder to work with just one of my specific accounts. Under the conditions, we can see that all it's saying is that all conditions are true or must be met, and that's looking at tags if they merely exist. So if any particular message has a tag on it, then it's going to actually return a result. What makes this particular folder useful is the Submailboxes. When you look at the Submailbox option, what you're able to do is when you look at that particular folder, and it actually adds the disclosure triangle that we have right there next to it so that you can collapse it and not see it, especially if it creates a super long list. But a Submailbox is anything that is an additional layer of filtering based on whatever you want. So in this case, you can see that we have a sub mailbox for each unique value of, and in this case, since the mailbox itself is about tags, then we get that. But just like I mentioned in the previous video when we were talking about searching or when we're talking about setting up our smart mailboxes, the same technology is applied across all of our messages. We have access to all of the headers within the email. That's the exposed and the non-exposed portion of our different messages. For example, one of the things that you may not know is in the headers of all of your email messages is a tag that identifies that message as coming from a mailing list. And you can see some examples in the examples folder for mailing lists. But here in the tags, using a submailbox based on the tags themselves, it's going to create another little mailbox based on that tag for each of the tags that you create. You'll also notice that there is this additional option of submailbox for the messages of each account. So in my case, I have 8 different accounts, separate accounts, that are coming into my MailMate. So that's actually, I think there's 5 different Gmail type accounts. Some I manage for other people, some are for work, some are for myself personally, but basically I want to make sense out of all of this email. If I was filtering using a smart mailbox that used sub-mailboxes based on tags, if I wanted to see this based on each different account, I would check this box right here, which would basically make it so that it works on each of the different accounts. But in this case, I'm just going to use all of my general tags for this. And what you're going to see is that the tagged, I don't know why the disclosure triangle went away there. Maybe it was because I made that one little check. Let's uncheck it and then check it, see if it comes back. There we go. Don't know why it did that. Unless only one mailbox would be created. That's because I only had one mailbox. The disclosure triangle went away. So if I check this, what we're going to see is as soon as I tag something else with another tag, that disclosure triangle will turn on and the sub mailboxes will actually invoke. So right now I'm going to go to my inbox. Let's go to actually this week. I only have my one item, and I'm going to tag this with work related. Now, as soon as I do tag that, I now have within my smart mailbox of tagged, with Submailboxes turned on, I have more than one. And so now I get my disclosure triangle. So I would probably move this up to my list above all of my items, and I can see all of my tagged messages. With this expanded, I can see that I had 3 of them, 2 of which are priority and 1 of which is work related. That is how you use Submailboxes, and it works really well when you are getting inbound specific email messages. Let's say all of them come in with a certain prefix on them, which a lot of the times mailing lists will do this. But then you want to see all messages from a particular person. Well, you can set up your Submailboxes and you can filter based on the from, looking specifically at the address or the domain or whatever filtering criteria you want to use. The Submailboxes will be generated for you. Now, you of course have to be careful. On a mailing list, if you do that based on the from, and it's a mailing list that is very active that has 800 people, your box is going to basically show 800 different individual items, but at least you would be able to see all of those specific messages according to just that one person. And you can, of course, use the disclosure triangle, hide it, and you're able to get at the mail that you want to see when you want to see it.